Good morning. How's everyone doing this morning? Just trying out a new tune. I didn't think the ukulele tune was appropriate for this morning. Because we're going to read the probable cause documents they released about Lori Vallow's new charges. I'm trying to clean my glasses. Hello to everyone in the chat. Jamie, Mark, welcome. The police is gathering more evidence and working, and hopefully soon they'll be facing murder charges. I hope so, Mark. Booze Love, Never Lose Hope, Julie, Shook, Debbie, Kelly Fitzgerald, Southern Mom, Charlene, Karen, Red Ram Media, Lisa 54, Kat McLean, Mel. Did I say 411 now? I can't remember. Good morning, everyone. If I missed anyone, my apologies. Gosh, I can't see out of my glasses. I keep trying to clean them. Should have brought some Windex in here and cleaned them. Goodness gracious. Hold on a minute, guys. So we're going to read these documents. I have not read them. Found them last night, but I've not sat down and read them yet. Okay, I guess that'll work for now. They're still not clean. I tried to find a place where I could download these myself, put in my Google Drive, but didn't find it. Just got the ones the East Idaho News put up, of course. Barry Mary, good morning. Let me see who else is in here. Jack's mom, good morning. Light Feather, Faithful One, a.k.a. Shazza, good morning. They cleared the streets in Seattle. Really? I couldn't tell you what's going on in the news this morning, besides the true crime news. I haven't watched it this morning. It's probably not good, though. I think it's like Canada Day, isn't it? I'm not sure what the correct name of the holiday is. I think it's just Canada Day. Let me see, before I look like a total dumbass. Yeah, Canada Day, Wednesday, July 1st. Can y'all believe that it's July? Can you believe it's almost the 4th of July? I can't. It doesn't feel like summer to me. It's not been hot here in the mountains. It's usually hot as hell here. It's rained a lot, which has really messed me up from laying out in the sun because I love to sunbathe. I'm like a reptile, soaking up the sun. Look at those two idiots. Look at her mouth in the picture. She got that downward frown, just like her ugly, dumbass husband. So it says, probable cause affidavit of Detective Ron Ball. State of Idaho, plaintiff versus Lori Noreen Vallow, a.k.a. Lori Noreen Daybell. Date of birth, 1973. Gosh, she's older than my Mark. Okay. I, Lieutenant Ron Ball of the Rexburg Police Department, being first duly sworn under oath, depose and state as follows. The information contained herein is true and correct to the best of my knowledge and belief. I am a detective with the Rexburg Police Department and have been employed in law enforcement for more than 27 years. I am currently the lieutenant over investigations for the Rexburg Police Department. I currently hold an advanced certificate and a management certificate from the Idaho Peace Officers Standards and Training Academy. I have over 2,500 hours of training. I have attended multiple trainings and classes throughout my career, including graduating from the FBI National Academy in 2015. I have also received multiple hours of specialized training in investigations. I have also conducted numerous investigations and interviews with suspects, victims, and witnesses involving narcotics, sex crimes, and fraud. I have also received numerous hours of training on traffic stops and detection of criminal behavior. My voice don't sound normal, guys. I've got a toothache and I've been sick, so you'll just have to overlook me. I kind of sound like I'm talking through my nose. I know. Excuse me. Now, I can't see the chat right now. Since November 26, 2019, the Rexburg Police Department have been involved in the search for J.J. Vallow, date of birth 5/25/2012. Hereinafter, J.J. and Tylee Ryan, date of birth 9/24/2002. Hereinafter, Tylee, I'm not sure what that means. Hereinafter. But anyways, the search for these children began when Kay Woodcock, JJ's grandmother, called Gilbert, Arizona police to report that she had not had any contact with JJ for several months. Gilbert police contacted Detective Ray Hermosillo of the Rexburg Police Department. Due to... Hold on just a minute, guys. You can take them if you want them. Sorry. I was going to be interrupted right in the middle of reading. Okay. Oh, gosh. Okay. Gilbert police contacted Detective Ray Hermosillo of the Rexburg Police Department due to the Rexburg PD helping the Gilbert police with investigation in which JJ and Tylee's mother, cousin, and uncle were persons of interest. JJ and Tylee's mother, Lori Vallow, has been charged with 2 felony counts of desertion of a minor child, 1 misdemeanor count of resisting and obstructing, 1 misdemeanor count of solicitation to commit a crime, and 1 misdemeanor count of contempt. The contempt charge is for failing to comply with an order in a child protection action in Madison County, Idaho, to produce JJ and Tylee to the Rexburg Police or the Department of Health and Welfare. Lori Vallow was required to produce the children by January 30th, 2020, and refused to do so. Tylee was 16 years old at the time she went missing, and JJ was 7 years old when he went missing. Until this time, law enforcement has stated that Tylee was 17 at the time she went missing, because we were not aware that she was missing until several months after her 17th birthday. However, we now have reason to believe she was killed before her 17th birthday. Chad Daybell was present in Kauai, Hawaii on February 20th, 2020, when Lori Vallow was arrested on the felony desertion charges. I was present at the arrest. Chad Daybell was also present at Lori Vallow's March 6th initial appearance in Madison County, Idaho. As such, I know that Daybell was aware of felony charges directly related to the location, health, and well-being of the minor children named above. Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow were married on November 5th, 2019. Daybell's first wife, Tammy Daybell, died the night of October 19, 2019 in Fremont County, Idaho. Tammy's death is still under investigation. The last verifiable sighting of Tylee was on September 8, 2019 in Yellowstone National Park. The last verifiable sighting of JJ was September 22, 2019 in his mother's apartment, located at 565 Pioneer Road, Unit 175, Rexburg, Idaho, by Lori's friend Melanie Gibb and David Warwick. While the Rexburg police and FBI have received many tips of alleged sightings since the beginning of the case, none of these tips have led to any verifiable or actionable information regarding the health, safety, or location of the minor children. Vallow moved to Rexburg on or about September 1st, 2019, with Tylee and JJ and her brother Alex Cox. Vallow resided with her children at 565 Pioneer Road, Unit 175, Rexburg, Idaho. Cox resided in the same complex, initially living in the same unit as Vallow, and then moving into his own unit at 565 Pioneer Road, Unit 107, Rexburg, Idaho. On November 26, 2019, Detective Hermosillo and Detective Hope from the Rexburg PD went to Vallow's home, located at 565 Pioneer Road, Unit 175, Rexburg, Idaho, to conduct a welfare check. Detectives Hermosillo and Hope met with Cox and Daybell outside the residence. Daybell acted as if he didn't know Vallow very well and stated he didn't know her phone number. Cox told detectives that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, in Louisiana, which was not likely to be true due to the fact that Kay was the individual who first called in a missing child report to the Gilbert Police Department. Cox said Vallow may be in apartment 107. Hermosillo and Hope went to apartment 107, but the apartment was completely empty and vacant. At this time, they called me and Detective David Stubbs and asked me to come to the premises to help search for JJ. I just need to look at the chat, make sure y'all are hearing everything. Okay. Jamie, I saw Kobe watching that through that Zoom call yesterday. It was heartbreaking watching his facial expressions. I could tell it was killing him. Okay, guys, back to reading. Shortly after calling me, Detective Hermosillo called me again and indicated that he saw Daybell driving a black Chevrolet Equinox away from the residence. Detective Hermosillo stopped Daybell and asked him again if he had seen JJ. Chad responded the last time he had seen JJ was in apartment 107 in October. He also admitted he knew Vallow's phone number and provided it to Detective Hermosillo. On that same day, myself and Detective Stubbs located and spoke with Lori in apartment 175. We identified ourselves as Rexburg Police Department officers. Vallow told us that JJ was in Gilbert, Arizona with a friend named Melanie Gibb. We obtained Gibb's phone number from Vallow. This encounter was recorded on body cam. We ended our contact with Vallow and immediately attempted to call Gibb. We were unable to contact or speak with her at the time. Lori also informed Rexburg PD that Tylee was attending BYU, Idaho, and living with Vallow. Because Detective Stubbs and I were unable to contact Gibb, we immediately contacted Vallow again and requested that she call Gibb. At this time, Vallow told us that Gibb and JJ were at the movie Frozen 2, so it was unlikely Gibb would answer the phone. We instructed Vallow to call Gibb and have Gibb contact us so we could verify the location of JJ. By the evening of November 26, 2019, we had still not heard from Gibb, so Rexburg PD informed Detective Ryan Pillar of the Gilbert Police Department of the information we had received regarding the children being with Gibb. Detective Hermosillo was informed later that evening around 9:30 p.m. that Gilbert police went to the home of Gibb. Gibb was not home, but Detective Pillar contacted her by phone, and she stated that JJ was not staying at her Arizona house and had not been there for several months. She better be glad that she didn't lie to police about that. On December 6, 2019, Detective Hermosillo was contacted by Gibb, and she informed us that both Daybell and Vallow called Gibb on November 26, 2019 at separate times. She was contacted first by Chad Daybell, who told her that she would probably be contacted by the police in regards to JJ's location, and he then asked her not to answer the call. Gibb informed Rexburg PD that she was confused by his request because she had been told by Vallow in late September or early October that JJ was living with Kay Woodcock, who is JJ's grandmother. Gibb asked Daybell if JJ was living with Kay, and he told her that JJ was not with Kay. Gibb was soon thereafter contacted by Vallow on her phone. Vallow asked Gibb to tell the police that she had JJ and asked Gibb to tell the police that she had taken JJ to the movie Frozen 2. Vallow further asked Gibb to take a picture of some children in a manner that would make it appear that Gibb had JJ with her, and to send the picture to the police. Gibb informed Vallow that she would not lie to the police, and Gibb did not comply with Vallow's request. She better be glad she didn't, or she'd be in a whole heap of trouble right now. Gibb first met Vallow in the fall of 2018. Gibb introduced Vallow to Daybell in St. George, Utah, at a Preparing a People conference. Preparing a People, their stupid cult. In early 2019, Gibb was present with Vallow during a telephone conversation between Vallow and Daybell. This conversation was in response to a vision of Vallow that her husband Charles Vallow and her son JJ were going to die in a car accident by January 1st or 2nd of 2019, which did not happen. During and after the conversation, Vallow told Gibb that Daybell had informed her that while Charles had not physically died in an accident, his spirit had left his body and been replaced by another spirit, which was a dark spirit. The dark spirit was named Ned Schneider. Well, see, that's something new that I'm learning. See, I didn't know that. I knew that Chad Daybell said that Charles was going to die in a car accident, but I didn't know that he said that JJ was going to be with Charles in the car. Freaking nut. Gibb's a nut, too. Gibb has informed law enforcement that the word zombie was introduced weeks after the initial conversation to describe an individual whose spirit has left their body and been replaced by another spirit. The new spirit inhabiting a person's or zombie's body was always a dark spirit. At some point after Gibb first learned this doctrine from Vallow and Daybell, she was informed by Vallow and Daybell that they believed it was their mission to rid the world of zombies. When Vallow initially spoke to Gibb about getting rid of zombies, she spoke about saying prayers to remove dark spirits from the human bodies they had inhabited. This information has been corroborated by electronic communications by Vallow and Daybell. scroll up here. After the death of Daybell's wife on October 9, 2019, Gibb was informed by Vallow that when a person became a zombie, their original spirit left their body and entered limbo and is trapped and cannot progress to paradise. Vallow then informed Gibb that for the person's original spirit to be freed from limbo, the person's physical body had to die. Despite the teaching that a physical body needed to die, Gibb reports she was never told by Vallow or Daybell that they planned to carry out a physical killing themselves. At the time Gibb was told this information by Vallow, she was still under the belief that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, and that Tylee was at BYU, Idaho. I just don't know about this Melanie Gibb. I mean, is she that dumb? Was she really that stupid? Okay. Melanie Gibb has further informed Rexburg PD that sometime in the spring of 2019, before the death of Charles Vallow, that Lori Vallow called Tylee a zombie. Gibb was on the phone with Lori and heard Lori call Tylee a zombie, to which Tylee responded, "Not me, Mom." Upon the unsealing of my probable cause, okay, never mind. That's like in quotations, I think. Okay. This arose out of Lori requesting Tylee to babysit JJ, and Tylee did not want to. Lori Vallow also told Gibb that Tylee had turned into a zombie when she was 12 or 13, which was approximately the same time Tylee had become difficult to deal with. Anyone that's difficult to deal with, in Lori's eyes, is a zombie. In other words, they're going to die. Gibb has further informed me that she was told by Daybell and Vallow that they held the religious belief that they were a part of the Church of the Firstborn, and their mission in the church was to lead 144,000 mentioned in the book of Revelation. On January 26, 2020, a search warrant was served on Chad Daybell and Lori Vallow in Kauai, Hawaii, where they were living, and on their vehicle. The children were not found with Chad and Lori in Hawaii, and no evidence was found to suggest they were living with Chad and Lori. Through this investigation, we have discovered that J.J. Vallow was registered at Kennedy Elementary School in Rexburg the first week of September 2019. Kennedy School was informed that J.J. had an individual education plan due to his autism. Kennedy Elementary was in the process of creating a new IEP for JJ. On September 23rd, 2019, JJ had an unexcused absence. It should be noted that originally in our investigation, we believed that JJ was in school on September 23rd, but upon review of his school records, we have found that he was not and had the unexcused absence. On September 24, 2020, Lori Vallow called Vicki Barton of the Madison School District and informed her that JJ was going to Louisiana with his grandparents and wouldn't be home until the end of October or maybe later. On October 29th, Madison School District records indicate that JJ would be homeschooled. During searches of Vallow's apartment in Rexburg and subsequent searches of her apartment in Kauai, no homeschooling materials were ever found. As mentioned, the last verifiable sighting of Tylee was in Yellowstone Park on September 8, 2019. Photographs established she was there with her mother, Lori Vallow, her brother, JJ, and her uncle, Alex Cox. They drove there in Alex's silver Ford F-150. This trip was further established by tracking the GPS, cell tower connections, and Google account information on Alex's phone. The Cellular Analysis Survey Team, known as CAST, is an FBI unit that provides analysis of cell phone records and presents the information to law enforcement. CAST has analyzed Alex Cox's phone and provided the location information mentioned in paragraph 25. The CAST analysis provides the location of Cox's phone. Due to my training and experience and common knowledge, I am aware that most individuals now keep their cell phones with them at all times, and the location of an individual's phone can be used to establish the location of the owner of the phone. CAST uses cellular devices, GPS data points, cell tower connections, Wi-Fi connections, and Google tracking information to establish the location of a cell phone. The GPS data points used by CAST are considered to be highly accurate and can place the device within a 6-meter radius. CAST has further informed law enforcement that Cox's phone exited the west entrance of Yellowstone National Park at 1840. His phone appeared at the Buckaroo's Bar and Grill in West Yellowstone, Montana from, oh gosh, here's that stupid military time again. God help me. I'm just going to say it the way I think, I don't know, it is. Y'all know what I mean. West Yellowstone, Montana from 1845 to 1902. Cox then returned to Rexburg, Madison County, Idaho at approximately 2037. The phone was then at Lori's apartment, number 175, until 2135, at which time Cox appeared to go to the Maverick on Main Street in Rexburg at 21:43 hours until 21:53. Cox then went back to Lori's apartment from 22:44 hours to 23:15. At 23:44, Cox's phone is located at his residence in apartment 107. Like, I know this is a professional document, but what is the purpose of using military time? Why not just put it in there the normal freaking way? I can't stand that military time. Okay. Well, this next one helps me out a little bit. On Monday, September 9th, from 12 a.m. And 0044, Cox's phone was located at his apartment 107. However, at 2:42 a.m. and 3:37 to 3:37 a.m., Cox is located again at Vallow's apartment, 175, where Vallow lived with Tylee and JJ. This is significant not only because he is there in the middle of the night, but also because this is the only time in September he appears to go over to Vallow's apartment between midnight and 6 a.m. And I believe that he was at Lori's apartment that long because he had killed Tylee for Lori and Chad. And he was doing something to her body or cleaning up. But that's my opinion. At 04:37 hours, Cox went back to his apartment, unit 107, until about 8:59. At 9:21, he was located at a property with the address 202 North 1900 East Rexburg, which is the residence of Daybell. It should be noted that while Chad Daybell's address is listed as Rexburg, it is actually located in Fremont County, Idaho. The 921 reading is a GPS data point and places him behind the home of Daybell's property east of the barn. So I'm assuming when he got to Chad's property that next morning, that's when he burnt Tylee's body, him and Chad. Okay. Cox's phone was still at the Daybell residence at 10:39. At 10:47, his phone showed a hit at the city of St. Anthony. At this time, we were unable to tell if he was actually inside the city limits of St. Anthony. St. Anthony is about a 5-minute drive from the Daybell residence, or if this was his cell if this was a cell tower ping on his phone while he was still at the Daybell residence. At 10:57 to 11:39, Cox is located on the Daybell property. At 11:52 to 12:02, he was at the Del Taco in Rexburg. He appears to spend most of the rest of the day in his apartment. I'd say so, after he murdered his niece, dismembered her, and burned her. So I believe that's what happened. He did. Through this investigation, the Rexburg Police Department and FBI have seized, searched, and analyzed multiple cellular devices pursuant to search warrants. On June 1st, 2020, I was informed by Special Agent Ricky Wright at the FBI that the FBI had been examining a phone believed to be owned by Tammy Daybell. The FBI found a text conversation between Tammy and Daybell on September 9, 2019, which is the day after the last known sighting of Tylee in Yellowstone National Park. It's basically saying the same stuff it said in Chad's. Guess we'll get to Lori's new charges here in a minute. Can I just pop in the chat just see what y'all are saying just for a second? I'm sorry I have trouble with that military time, guys. I gotta find my daggone lighter. I gotta have smoke. No, Charles, I see Kelly's question. Charles never did have a car accident, I don't think. I mean, he could have at sometime in his life, but I don't think so. The text conversation, this is text between Chad and Tammy. Text conversation reads as follows. Daybell to Tammy, 11:53 a.m. Well, I've had an interesting morning. I felt I should burn all the limb debris by the fire pit before it got too soaked by the coming storms. While I did so, I spotted a big raccoon along the fence. I hurried, got my gun. He was still walking along. I get close enough that one shot did the trick. He is now in our pet cemetery. Fun times. Never known of a raccoon just walking around like that in the daytime. Unless it's got rabies. Daybell to Tammy, 11:56. Going to shower now, then go right for a while at BYU. Love you. Tammy to Daybell, 2:47 p.m. Good for you. Daybell to Tammy, 2:48 p.m. I'm back home now. He was making sure where she was at while they burnt Tylee's body. I found the text suspicious because raccoons are normally nocturnal animals and are not regularly out during the day. Matt and Regan Price, Daybell's neighbors, have informed law enforcement that Daybell's son Garth told them that Daybell had shot a raccoon sometime between July and August of 2019 during the day. Garth told Matt Price about the raccoon in response to a question from Matt about hearing a gunshot. The Prices informed me that the fire pit in the back of the Daybell property was hardly ever used until the last few months. Regan informed me that there appeared to be frequent bonfires in the pit on the Daybell property over the last few months, and the first one she noticed was soon after Tammy's death on October 19th, 2019. Well, he killed Tammy. He's probably disposing of the evidence, however he killed her. On June 2nd, 2020, Detective Bruce Mattingly of the Fremont County Sheriff's Office contacted Samantha Gwilliam, who is the sister of Tammy Daybell. He asked her if she was aware of a pet cemetery on the Daybell property in Idaho. She informed him that she was aware of a pet cemetery and stated that both she and Tammy were pet people, and they had both had pet cemeteries. When asked the location of the pet cemetery on the Daybell property, she stated that it was east of the Red Barn and near the fire pit. On June 4, 2020, I spoke with Samantha, and she informed me that she was aware of the location of the pet cemetery on the Daybell property because Tammy had shown it to her. Samantha was then shown an aerial photograph of the Daybell property, and she pointed to the same area near the fire pit where Alex Cox's phone pinged on September 9, 2019. The above facts established that Alex Cox appeared to be on the Daybell property on September 9, 2019 until at least 11:39 a.m. Chad sent the text to Tammy about burning debris and shooting and burying the raccoon in the pet cemetery only 14 minutes later at 11:53. The pet cemetery referenced by Chad Daybell is located at the same location as most of the pings of Alex Cox's phone on September 9th, 2019. On June 3rd, 2020, I again interviewed Gibb and her boyfriend, David Warwick, in Pleasant Grove, Utah. We discussed in depth the weekend of September 22nd and 23rd, 2019. Due to the fact that Gibb and Warwick stayed at Lori Vallow's residence in Rexburg that weekend. Gibb informed me, consistent with information she had previously given to law enforcement, that she arrived in Rexburg on September 19, 2019. Soon after she arrived, Lori informed Gibb that JJ had become a zombie and pointed out behaviors such as sitting still, watching TV, claiming JJ said he loved Satan, and an increased vocabulary as evidence that JJ was now a zombie. Gibb observed JJ's behavior and felt it to be the same as she had always observed it. She should have contacted CPS. I mean, she would have known every time they called someone a zombie, they ended up dead. They said Charles was one dead. I don't know if they called Tammy one, but Tammy ended up dead. Okay. The last time Gibb and Warwick verifiably saw JJ was the night of September 22nd, 2019. Warwick informed us that it was late and that Gibb, Vallow, and Warwick were going to do a podcast. Warwick said that Vallow told him JJ was acting up, so Cox took him to his apartment in the complex. When Cox returned later that night, he was carrying JJ, who appeared to be asleep with his head on Cox's shoulder. Warwick specifically remembered this because he saw it as a tender moment. Yeah, buddy. People was real tender. Warwick further informed us that when he woke up the morning of September 23rd, 2019, he asked Vallow where JJ was. This was between 8 and 9 a.m. Vallow informed Warwick that Gibb that JJ had been acting like a zombie and had been crawling on the kitchen cabinetry and had gotten on top of the cabinetry in a space between the cabinetry and ceiling. She informed Warwick and Gibb that when JJ had climbed upon the cabinetry, that he had knocked down a picture of Jesus off the refrigerator. Vallow then informed Warwick and Gibb that Cox had come and taken JJ. At no time during this interaction with Vallow did Gibb or Warwick believe that JJ was in danger. Vallow had not said anything about harming JJ or having Cox harm JJ. Are you freaking kidding me? Someone tells you some crazy story like that about their kid, a zombie, and crawling on stuff and saying they love Satan, and that's not alarming to you? Sorry, guys. I mean, that woman just blows my mind of how freaking dumb she is. Approximately 1 week after Gibb's September visit to Rexburg, Vallow informed Gibb that she had arranged for JJ to live with his grandma, Kay Woodcock. Vallow further told Gibb that she had told Kay that she had cancer in order to convince Kay Woodcock to take JJ. Vallow further elaborated to Gibb that she had traveled with JJ and handed him off to Kay in an airport. And Gibb thinks this is Christian-like? It's real Christian-like to lie about cancer, isn't it? You're doing the Lord's work, aren't you? God, what a bunch of freaking nuts. The FBI CAS team has analyzed Alex Cox's movements the morning of September 23rd, 2019 by his cell phone GPS. At 9:55, Alex is again at Chad Daybell's property. He was there until 10:12. The pings on his phone located Alex near the pond on Chad's property at the northern edge of his property. Chad Daybell's property is located in Salem, Idaho, in Fremont County. On June 3rd, 2020, I asked Special Agent Ricky Wright of the FBI to analyze the frequency of Alex Cox's visits to Chad Daybell's property during the month of September 2019. His response was, "Per your request, I checked the visits by Alex to Chad's house again. There were only 4 visits by Alex during the month of September. Those were on 9/6, 9/9, 9/23, 9/25. During the 2 visits on 9/6 and 9/25, all the pings were in and around the house, and there were no pings anywhere in the back near the fire pit or pond. As you can see, these visits were short, about 11 minutes, 17 minutes. Like the one on 9/23 was 17 minutes. The visit on 9/9 was the only long visit, approximately 2.5 hours." Okay. I was just trying to think in my head, wondering if Alex killed JJ too, or if he just killed Tylee. Maybe Chad killed JJ. I don't know. Okay. On June 9th, 2020, a search warrant was executed at Daybell's residence and property with the assistance of the local FBI ERT team. We located at multiple sites of interest. These sites were identified and corresponded to the cellular data of Alex Cox's phone when he was on the property mentioned in paragraphs 12 through 16. Additionally, one of the possible sites correlated to a location on the property Chad had texted his wife about, mentioned in paragraphs 17 and 18. The first site of interest was located on the north side of the pond near the north edge of the property. This site corresponded with the 2 GPS pings from Alex Cox's phone on September 23rd, 2019. A patch of ground was located that appeared to be disturbed. Well, I guess Alex probably did murder both of them, and JJ took part in both of them. Okay, I got off topic here. A patch of grass was located that appeared to be disturbed. The weed growth on the top of the disturbed ground was shorter than the surrounding weed growth. What appeared to be sod etching was also noticed. The disturbed area was approximately 4 feet by 2.5 feet, 2.5 feet. I don't know if that means half. Members of the FBI ERT team removed the top layer of sod. Underneath the layer of sod were several large flat rocks. The rocks were removed and 2 pieces of flat paneling were found. The paneling was removed and investigators exposed a round object covered in black plastic. Similar paneling was found in a barn located on the property. Upon exposing the round object covered in black plastic, a strong odor was noticed. An FBI ERT member used a small sharp instrument and made a small incision in the plastic, and a layer of white plastic was observed. An incision was made into the white layer of plastic, exposing what appeared to be human remains, the crown of a head covered in light brown hair. The remaining dirt around this object was methodically removed, exposing what appeared to be a body wrapped in black plastic. The plastic appeared to be tightly wrapped around the body and secured with gray duct tape. Oh, that duct tape will have fingerprints on it. Cheryl Anderson, associate professor of anthropology at Boise State University, was present on scene and advised the remains found near the pond appeared to be human. As noted above, the GPS on Alex Cox's phone pinged twice on September 23, 2019, near the first site where human remains were found. The GPS records indicate that Cox was at the location for a total of 17 minutes on September 23, 2019. Due to the depth and width of the grave the body was located in, and the rocks and paneling found in the grave, it would be impossible for one person to have dug that grave, placed a body in it, placed the rocks and paneling in the grave, and covered it back up in 17 minutes. Exactly. I'd say when he got there, Chad done had that grave dug. A second site of interest was located behind a red unattached outbuilding located roughly in the center of the property near a fire pit. Next to the fire pit is an area used as a pet cemetery. The site correlated to several GPS pings of Alex Cox's phone on September 9, 2019. I have a hard time saying that word, correlated. I can't say it right. Ground in this area was probed with a steel pole, and several areas of disturbed ground were located. During a search of the ground, a buried cat and dog's remains were found. No raccoon's remains were located. A backhoe was used to dig further layers of dirt. While doing this, bricks were located approximately a foot below the ground. Once the bricks were discovered, the soil was examined, and what appeared to be 2 bones were located. Based on the condition of the first bones found, Cheryl Anderson was not able to determine whether the bones were human. Methodically, the dirt in this area was searched, and several other items of interest were found, including other bones, charred tissue, charred bones. Cheryl Anderson indicated these additional bones, both charred and uncharred, and tissue found were human remains. Investigators provided photos of some of the partial remains that were found at the pet cemetery to Dr. Sarah Getz, PhD, a forensic anthropologist. Dr. Getz was able to identify those remains as being non-adult human remains. Around the time the head mentioned in paragraphs 44 and 50 was discovered. See, guys, that keeps throwing me off. This makes me think that JJ's head wasn't attached. It said around the time the head mentioned in paragraph 44 and 50 was discovered, Chad Daybell was observed leaving his daughter's residence in a gray SUV. I and other officers pursued him in police vehicles, conducted a traffic stop, and detained him due to the fact that human remains were discovered on his property. On June 11, 2020, I observed the autopsy of the bodies described in paragraphs 44 and 50. The body had not yet been removed from the plastic covering it was found in. As the body was uncovered, the face exposed, it was clear to me this was the body of J.J. Vallow. The body was well preserved. While I had never met J.J. during his life, I was familiar with his face due to seeing many pictures and videos of him. I was further familiar with his haircut in the pictures I had seen of him in Yellowstone, which was shaved on the sides and back and longer on top. JJ was further identified by Brandon Boudreaux, who was shown an autopsy photograph of the body and face and was able to verify the remains were JJ. On June 11, 2020, I observed the autopsy of human remains described in paragraphs 51 through 55. It was not possible to identify those remains by simply looking at them, as they were too damaged by fire and dismemberment, and no longer had any recognizable features. However, Dr. Glenn Smith, an orthodontist and deputy coroner in Ada County Coroner's Office, was able to identify these remains as belonging to Tylee Ryan by matching an irregular jawline with an x-ray of Tylee when she was alive. Despite identifying Tylee, law enforcement was advised that it would still be wise to obtain a DNA verification. We were informed that sufficient soft tissue existed, which was not burned, that we would be able to test for DNA. We are in the process of having said test performed. On January 16, 2020, a child protection action was filed by the state of Idaho in Madison County on behalf of JJ and Tylee. The case number is CV33-20-0045. The court ordered Vallow to produce JJ and Tylee within 5 days of service of the order to the Rexburg Police Department or the Idaho Department of Health and Welfare in Rexburg. Vallow was served that order on Saturday, January 25th, 2020, by Detective Chad Cataluna of the Kauai Police Department. Lori refused to produce the children and never complied with the order of the court. Alex Cox died on December 12th, 2019, in Maricopa County, Arizona. His death has been ruled to have been caused by natural causes. Bullcrap. Can't believe it. Due to the facts listed in this affidavit, probable cause exists that Chad Daybell, Lori Vallow, and Alex Cox conspired to commit the crime of concealing and destroying altering evidence they knew would be produced, used, or discovered as evidence in a trial proceeding, inquiry, or investigation involving a felony. Chad Daybell performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Texted Tammy Daybell and told her about burning debris and burying a dead raccoon in the pet cemetery on September 9, 2019. B. Deceptively acted as if he did not know Lori very well and did not know Lori's phone number when questioned by Rexburg police on November 26, 2019, despite the fact they were married at the time. Alex Cox performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Told Rexburg police on or about November 26, 2019 that JJ was with his grandma, Kay Woodcock, in Louisiana. Transported JJ Vallow from Madison County, Idaho to Chad Daybell's property in Fremont County on September 23, 2019. I knew it. I always knew they got him to do the murders. He's their hitman. Okay. Lori Vallow performed at least the following overt acts in furtherance of the aforementioned conspiracy. Telephoned Melanie Gibb and asked her to lie to the police about the location of JJ. Asked Gibb to create false evidence of JJ's existence and location. Falsely informed the Rexburg police that JJ was in Arizona with Melanie Gibb. Falsely informed the Rexburg Police Department that Tolly was attending BYU, Idaho, and living with Vallow. Refused to produce the children to the Rexburg Police or Idaho Department of Health and Welfare as required by a court order. And that is it, guys. Gosh, let me look at the chat. My coffee's cold. I never did like my cigarette. Let me just get out of this for a sec. Man, when you read that stuff like that, it just takes a lot out of me. Just because I get visualizations of what they did to these poor kids. The death penalty is in play for this watch. Idaho has the death penalty, not my verbiage. I think that's how you say that. They deserve the death penalty. What they done to these children, they deserve the death penalty, especially Lori Vallow. Lori Vallow is the most to blame here, in my eyes, in my opinion. She's their mother. Supposed to love, protect, care for your kids. She did none of the above. It's a lot to take in, Barry and Mary. Hey, by the way. Let me mute a sec. I hadn't read that, guys. I hadn't read it. I found it last night, and I was waiting to read it with you guys. That's why I couldn't finish hearing that psychic. Oh, is it Linda Kay? Okay. Hey, Linda Kay. So Linda Kay is not my verbiage. I had to start me another Google account, by the way. I've not used it on YouTube yet, but I needed more Google Drive storage, and I didn't want to upgrade and pay, so I just made me another account, and I just called it Sassy and Classy. Um, I agree, Sissy, and I think she was the puppeteer. Y'all, my mind is blown about this Melanie Gibb. She said that when Lori told her that someone was a zombie and they had a dark spirit in them, they was just gonna pray for them and get it out of them. I don't believe that. I think it said they corroborated that by electronic device, but that don't mean that they didn't have a private conversation face to face about it. Come on now, is that woman that dumb? Every time Lori mentioned someone's a zombie, they're gone, disappeared. I can't believe this woman and her boyfriend was buying into this crap. Now, I don't know if that Mr. Warwick guy, who's Melanie Gibbs' boyfriend, bought into it or not. I think Melanie did. I think verbal constipation's right when he said that Melanie was in love with Chad. Sorry, guys, I'm having to readjust my bun, my hair. Hey, Lisa, love it, CC. So true. Classy and sassy. Sassy and classy. Yeah. I have to look and see which way I've got it. But I needed a place, just to keep all my true crime stuff. And both my Google Drives was full. My account for Sunny and my personal account. Both full. So I was like, I have to get me another email address, get me some more storage. Yeah, it's got sassy and classy. I've not added it to YouTube yet, that account. I'll have to. If y'all see that around, you'll know that's me. I'll put my picture with it. Probably shouldn't say that. Somebody make a troll account of it. How these nuts are on here. Okay, so here's probably what happened. This is my opinion. Of course, Alex was the hitman. They got him to kill the kids. I believe that. He probably snuck there and killed Tammy in her sleep too somehow. And Chad helped him bury the bodies. And then either Alex really did die of natural causes because he was stressed out and overcome with guilt what he had done. Get stroked out because of that. Stress will cause that. But I don't know if I believe that he died of natural causes. Now, I know they done an autopsy and they released the results. We looked at them on here. But I just don't know if I'm buying it. I just don't know. I just can't see him dying of natural causes. Nobody else that's close to Lori dies of natural causes. Oh, gosh, guys, I feel so bad this morning. I got a toothache. My face is swelled up, but I still want to come on here and read this. Let me find that article I was looking about Chad. I had to end up downloading the East Idaho News app. Chad's conspiracy charges he's facing. Okay. Chad Daybell has been charged with 2 felony counts: conspiracy to commit destruction, altercation, or concealment of evidence. Okay, this was published June 30th. The new charges were filed Tuesday after Lori Daybell appeared in court accused of the same crimes. The conspiracy charges are different than those filed against Chad earlier this month, which were 2 felony counts of destruction, altercation, or concealment of evidence. Okay, I'm glad they said that because that's a little confusing. On the new charges, Chad will appear before Judge Farron Edens from the Fremont County Jail on Wednesday at 1 p.m. He is scheduled for a preliminary hearing on August 3rd and 4th on the previous charges. So does that mean today? Wednesday? Ain't today Wednesday? So he's supposed to be in court today at 1. Okay, so I was watching Lori in court yesterday, and it was really hard for me to watch her son Colby as they was reading all those charges and stuff to her. The judge was, you could tell it was killing him. I can't imagine what that young man is going through and what he's been through. It's going to take a lot of years to try to get back to having a halfway normal life. You know what I mean? Bless his heart. Anyways, Lori was dabbing her eyes. Oh, I'm crying. Let me make it look like I'm crying to everybody, like I'm upset. Shh, ain't nobody feels sorry for her. She's crying for herself. If she really was crying, she is crying for herself. She knows she's going to prison for the rest of her life. She may even get the death penalty. I hope they seek the death penalty when they charge them with murder. Can't wait to see those murder charges. Throat puncher. Lisa, throat puncher. I'd like to throat punch her. They say violence ain't the answer, but you know what? They should give these people that murder and stuff the same punishment as they did to their victims. That's what I think. Oh, here's Skylar starting. Mark must be leaving. She wasn't crying in Hawaii. No, she wasn't. We only have one life. Hey, China, let me mute a second, see if Mark's leaving, see what's wrong with her. My dog's crying. Well, does me no good to ask questions. Nobody responds. I'm talking to Mark, not y'all. I muted and asked him, were you leaving or something? He never answered me. I think he must be the way Skylar was acting. She must be going with him. Do you see how quiet she speaks in court? Like she's a delicate flower instead of a murderess. Yeah. Yeah, Darlie Retier speaks the same way. All soft like. Yeah, she's crying for herself, like Feather. And put your comment up. Glitter Girl. I love Glitter, by the way. I love that name. Yeah, they all cry for themselves, guys. When they get in court and they hear those charges and it sinks in, I'm screwed. My life is over. I may even be put to death. They all start crying. And it's not tears for the victims. It's not remorse. They're crying for their own self. Selfish. She changed from flirty to demure. Yeah. Yeah, remember when her first court appearance after she got back into the mainland? Remember she was like bouncing through court. Poor Kay and Larry Woodcock sitting there. Just grief all over their face, worried to death where their grandson's at and his sister. And here she's bouncing through court. I mean, she really thought she was just going to get walked out of there, I believe, that day. Her and her Skittles lipstick makes me sick. No, they only feel empathy for themselves, Julie. When they was in Hawaii, the locals didn't even want them there. They wanted them off of the island. So much people despise them. I got hatred in my heart for them. You're not supposed to have hatred in your heart, but how can you not have hatred towards monsters like this? Good luck at the doctor, Black Rose. People outside the hospital cheering the nurses. Oh, that's cool. The drunk driver that killed my daughter only got 5 years. It was a slap in my face. I don't understand 5 years for killing people. I'm so sorry to hear that. We only have one life. I know you had told me before a long time ago. I'm so sorry. 5 years. People, they know better to drink and drive. We had a girl here. She wasn't drunk, but she was speeding, and she wrecked her friend. She actually lost her arm, but she killed her boyfriend, and she went to prison for it because she was driving fast. It's interesting. Those kind of people get really scared of their own fate. Well, it's like Ted Bundy. They said he was crying like a baby on his way to sit no Sparky. Yeah, they had to like kind of force him, crying like a baby. Electric chair, I'd be crying like a baby too. I'm not gonna lie. I'd be crying like a baby. But you know what? Hey, don't kill people. I pray they don't make it to the courthouse. They better be keeping an eye on those two. They will try to take the easy way out. It wouldn't surprise me a bit if they both committed suicide. Of course, I don't want nobody to commit suicide, but I want those two to get their karma, what they deserve. And I believe they deserve the death penalty. It's my opinion. Anyone that harms kids deserves the death penalty. That's just the way I think about it. I was an abused kid growing up, so I'm really passionate about that. And I really mean that when I say all child abusers deserve the death penalty. They do. Karma always comes. You get back what you put out into this universe, whether it's good or bad. If you're good, you're going to get good karma back. If you're bad, you'll get bad karma back. Yes, they need to make examples out of these two. ATC, she was smiling. I like to knock that smile off her face. Yeah, she was acting really cocky that first court appearance. Melanie Gibb knows a lot more than what she's saying. Yes, she does. I do not believe for a second that she thought that when Lori said that people were zombies, they just prayed to get the bad spirit out of them. Bull crap. I don't care what kind of text messages the cops have that corroborate that. That don't mean they didn't have some other kind of discussion face to face, right? She couldn't have been that stupid, guys. She couldn't have been. Who would believe that? I'm the type of person, I am very open-minded, and I do believe that there are certain people that have gifts. There's a lot of people that fake special gifts too. But there are people that have special gifts. There's people that have spiritual visions and stuff. I understand that. I could believe that, having a spiritual vision. But how in the world did she believe the rest of that? The zombies. They're going to rid the world of zombies. Are you kidding me? Where in the Bible does it talk about zombies? Somebody please point that out to me. Where it talks about zombies. Talks about demons. I do believe in demon possession, but each their own. A lot of people don't believe in it, but the Bible does talk about demons. But zombies, come on. For me to believe that someone was even possessed by a demon, I'd have to see them be levitating off the ground and their head spinning around, Exactly, Julius. Nowhere in the Bible where it talks about zombies. Personally, I've never read through Revelations. I grew up in church. I went to Bible school, Bible study on Wednesday, and vacation Bible school, whatever. But I have never really read through Revelations. I just know the basics about the Bible, really, honestly. But I know there's never been no zombies mentioned in it. This ain't no zombie apocalypse. She must think she's living on The Walking Dead or something, TV show. Them people have been reading too many comic books. Chad Daybell had Tammy fooled too. She believed in his visions. She had to. He told her that her grandmother that passed away, Grandma Cooper, visited him in the backyard. The next day, Grandma Cooper said, Tammy needs to visit her parents. Chad goes in the house, tells Tammy. The next day, she's off to her parents. Come on. I'd probably laugh at Mark if he told me something like that. If he came in the house and told me something like that, I'd be like, "What are you smoking?" I mean, come on. It's people, I mean, I don't know whether to laugh or cry when I talk about their beliefs. I think anyone listening to folks that talk zombies need help, and I would run fast away from them and call the cops. Not my pinches. Absolutely. And I feel like Melanie Gibb should have called CPS. I know Lori was her friend. You hate to have to call CPS on someone that you're friends with. But when they are saying that their kid is possessed, got a dark spirit in them, they're a zombie, you need to take action because it's showing that this person is mentally unstable, could harm their children or themselves or someone else. She should have reported that. Someone told me that I'd have no choice but to report it because I'd be afraid they might try to harm their kids. Revelation is a good book. Should try reading it or audio on YouTube, whatever I recommend. You know what? I don't mind reading the Bible. I've read I started in Genesis and I got all the way to Psalms. Sometimes I have a hard time understanding it the way it's worded, and I'll have to kind of read it a couple different times. But that's a good idea, listening to Revelations. Try that. I've seen that like the, audio book of the Bible. MP just called her children zombies too. Who's MP? Oh, Melanie Pulowski, however you say her name. Absolutely. Cover up started with Melanie G. She better be glad she didn't lie to police when they called her looking for JJ. When she finally contacted them back, she better be glad she didn't lie, or her ass will be sitting in jail right now with them. And the niece, Melanie Bedrow, Pulowski, whatever you want to call her, she's lucky. Her husband saved her from probably going to prison for a long time. I believe she knew all about this. Lori's niece, Melanie. The old school wording of the Bible can be off-putting. Yeah, it's hard to, understand, especially if, you don't know a whole lot about the Bible. My gosh, guys, I'm going to have to get off here. I don't feel good. I have a major toothache, but I wanted to read that with y'all today and discuss a little bit, so I went live anyways, but I was up most of the night putting Orgel in my mouth, and my face is a little swollen, and I got a little bit of a fever, and I just don't feel good. I'm going to try to get out a shout-out video sometime today for the channel members. If I don't get that today, I'll put it up in the morning. But anyways, thanks for listening to me read. I apologize about the military time. God almighty, I hate that crap. I could look it up a million times, and when I get on here, I'll forget how to say it. So that's just the way I am. Thanks, guys. I appreciate it. I hope I get to feeling better, too. I took an antibiotic. Actually, I took 2 this morning, so I got a few more I can take. That's why my head, I told y'all the other day I felt like I had sinus pressure and stuff. It's because I was getting a toothache. Yeah, I kind of look a little bit monster face this morning. Swelled up. I'm going to try to get my dental work done sometime here soon. When I get my dental work done, I'm going to be on camera so much y'all be sick of looking at me. Thank you, Lisa Irwin. Thank you so much. Thank you, everybody, for chatting. Y'all be safe out there. I'll see y'all in the morning. Be kind. If there's any updates, I'll put up a video for you guys. Anyways, love y'all. Be kind. Peace.